Right. So pardon my choice of words then. Pardon my choice of words in Tlamula.
You must be very selective with your choice of words because we're talking about a very sensitive and a serious situation here. You can't say random vehicle.
Okay, are we able to move past this now and share with the viewing public, from your perspective, what happened?
The 360 experience with Thomas M.
And according to reports, former President Jacob Zuma has been involved in a car accident. For more details, we're joined by MK Party spokesperson Nhlamula Ndlela. And Nhlamula, good morning to you and thank you for your time. Just quickly confirm whether this in fact happened and what the circumstances surrounding it were.
Yes, indeed, there was an accident.
All right, can you share some details? Where was it happening? Where was the former president traveling from and to?
Well, in light of the fact that we're talking about a president, I mean, naturally you would not be able to disclose too much details. But yes, there was a car that targeted his car directly in the midst of a motorcade, which is very questionable and concerning.
As you say, as a former president, the former president does have a protective detail, and it beggars the question as to how his security was breached.
Well, you need to ask Bheki that said that he wants to. He said that Zuma must be buried.
Guys, am I the only person who feels like the spokesperson of MK is being hostile towards this lady? Am I the only one who feels like this guy is honestly being hostile and rude towards this lady that is conducting the interview? Because if the news gonna come out and say that Jacob Zuma has been involved in an accident, and you as the spokesperson of MK, you are called by a newsroom to be on national television to tell the people of South Africa what actually happened with that accident, do you feel like this conduct of this man is a proper conduct for this kind of thing? Because I'm sitting here and I'm thinking like, why is this person so hostile towards this lady? Because if you are a spokesperson of MK and you're gonna talk about the matters involving Jacob Zuma, you have to understand that Jacob Zuma was also the president of South Africa. So not only the supporters of MK are interested to knowing what happened with Jacob Zuma, even the people of this country, they want to know what happened with Jacob Zuma. So if you're going to be hostile towards a lady that is conducting the interviews, then what the hell are you doing? What the hell are you doing? Because you have to rally the message of MK. You have to tell the people, where is MK? How does Jacob Zuma feel? And all of those things. But instead of being polite and telling the people what exactly happened with Jacob Zuma, you are busy being hostile towards the lady that is conducting the interview. I mean, guys, wouldn't you be upset if you are a supporter of a certain political party and you hear that the president of that political party has been involved in an accident, then the spokesperson of the political party goes on national television and conducts himself like this? Wouldn't you be upset? Wouldn't you be upset? Because people want to know exactly what happened with the president. People want to know. So right now, this person is being rude towards this lady that is conducting the interview. He's acting like this lady for some reason. She's involved in Jacob Zuma's accident. No, she's simply asking the questions. But you don't have to be this rude. You don't have to be this rude because the people of this country, they want to know what happened with the former president. What kind of conduct is this, guys? And how is this conduct accepted?
He said, Cele said, you must bury Zuma. He's responsible for the president's motorcade and security detail. Let's not forget that Mtolo himself said that president will be gone before May 29.
You take what Mr. Mtolo said literally.
It's a fact. He said it himself. I mean, why don't you take literally about what he said?
I mean, like, the question is, do you take what he said literally? Not it's a fact. He said, everybody knows that Mtolo said that. Guys, this is the video that the spokesperson of MK is talking about. This is the video.
More to more. He's very cold. I can tell you, by before end of May, maybe admitted to hospital, he will never come.
You hear right now, Bheki Mtolo says that before the end of May, Jacob Zuma would be admitted in a hospital. So that's why the lady is like, do you take him literally? Because right now, if you have to listen to the full context of this message, Bheki Mtolo was saying that we are fresh, we are everywhere, and Jacob Zuma is old, and there's no way that he can keep up with us. I think this is the reason why he said that before the end of May, Jacob Zuma will be in a hospital. I don't think he meant it like before the end of May, something bad would have happened to Jacob Zuma. Guys, I want you to listen to the full context because I honestly don't think that Mtolo was being literal when he said this.
Now we are on the ground. We are not doing stupid motorcades. We are on the ground. We are strat by strat, village by village, school to school, hospital to hospital, mall to mall. He's very cold. I can tell you, by before end of May, maybe admitted to hospital, he will never come. Now we are on the.
So I think this is an issue of context. It just like it really have to like how you take it. Because me listening to Bheki Mtolo, he says that ANC is fresh, we are everywhere, we are mall to mall, city to city, village to village. Jacob Zuma is old, there's no way that he can keep up with us, and before the end of May, the man will probably be in hospital because he cannot keep up with African National Congress. This is how I understood Bheki Mtolo. I didn't get it in a way that Bheki Mtolo meant that Jacob Zuma will be in a hospital because something bad would have happened to Jacob Zuma. But maybe this is me. Guys, you are free to make your own call. You are free to say that no, Bheki Mtolo was being suspicious by saying that Jacob Zuma would be at the hospital by the end of May. I think this has to do with context, how you understood Bheki Mtolo.
Unless you want to tell me something else.
No, I'm not getting involved in political matters. I'm just saying sometimes when people speak, it could be figurative or literal. I'm trying to understand what your takeaway was. You're saying you understand that to be literal. Let's go back to the statements then around Bheki Cele, because you're holding him directly responsible, it would seem, for the security breach of the president. Just share with us some more details as to why you believe that is the case.
Well, first and foremost, if you look at the president's fleet, the president has had that fleet for the past 8-10 years. It cannot be. Why has Bheki Cele not upgraded his fleet? We're talking just cars.
I mean, like, you know, if you were not being so hostile, maybe you could tell South Africans what is wrong with Jacob Zuma's fleet and why does Jacob Zuma need his fleet to be upgraded. If you were not being hostile and rude towards this lady, maybe you could have had a chance of actually telling South Africans that, guys, we need Jacob Zuma's security to be upgraded. We need Jacob Zuma's fleet to be upgraded because of 1, 2, 3. This is why I'm saying that this person is not doing the supporters of MK any favor. He's not doing South Africans as a whole any favor. Because as a spokesperson of MK, knowing that Jacob Zuma is the leader of MK, you have to be able to rally out this message. You have to tell South Africans that, guys, Jacob Zuma has had this fleet for the past 10 years, and we think because of reason number 1, reason number 2, reason number 3, Jacob Zuma's fleet need to be upgraded, Jacob Zuma's security need to be upgraded. That way, you could actually do some favor for the supporters of MK. That way, maybe South Africans could actually understand you when you say that Jacob Zuma's fleet need to be upgraded. But if you're going to say that, ask Bheki Cele, why didn't Bheki Cele upgrade Jacob Zuma's fleet? Bheki Cele is working for Ramaphosa. This is the reason why he will not upgrade Jacob Zuma's fleet. You are not telling South Africans what they need to hear. You are not being transparent with South Africans. And right now, we need you to be transparent with South Africans. We need you to tell South Africans the reasons why do you need Jacob Zuma's fleet to be upgraded. Maybe if you were not being rude towards this lady that is simply trying to get the information about what happened, you could actually tell us that, okay, because of 1, 2, 3, this is why we need Jacob Zuma's fleet to be upgraded. I don't know how the supporters of MK actually feel like they are being represented right here. How do you feel like this person who talks like this is representing you as a member of the party? Because you need to know why Jacob Zuma's fleet need to be upgraded. You need to know why Jacob Zuma's security need to be upgraded. Before you jump into accusing Bheki Cele of not doing those things, You need to tell us that Jacob Zuma has had these cars for 10 years and these cars are giving us such and such problems, and this Jacob Zuma security is being compromised in this way, and this is the reason why we want Bheki Cele to actually upgrade his security. And because Bheki Cele, we told him about these things, he hasn't upgraded Jacob Zuma security. This is the reason why we are bashing him. I mean, like, what kind of a spokesperson is this?
How is that possible? Bheki Cele should be ashamed. Totally ashamed.
And Klamula, were representations made to the police ministry's office for a beefing up of security around the former president?
Of doing what, sorry?
Of beefing up security and improving and upgrading security around the former president?
Yes, it has been. And he knows it. But it doesn't impact. Because it's under Cele Ramaphosa's government. He's serving Cele Ramaphosa's interests.
I mean, that's quite a serious accusation to make, including as well a sitting head of state. Do you have any other details to back it up other than...
That if Cele Ramaphosa can want to withdraw the payment and as it relates to President Zuma's legal costs, they withdrew that. And they want President Zuma to pay his own costs. If they can do that, why can't they do the same thing on any other element as it pertains to his status?
All right, let's move on to the accident itself, Nhlamula. Again, quite a serious incident, as you say, that the former president's official motorcade protection that he is afforded as a former head of state was breached by a random vehicle. You're saying that's as a result of the emissions by the police ministry and others. Can you give us some more details about whether, traffic police were at the scene, whether this was recorded, whether a case in record will be made on this?
Let me ask you a simple question. You use the word random vehicle. How do you come to the conclusion that it's a random vehicle?
Because you were not open about what happened. What do you think, what do you want her to say? You were not open about exactly what happened, and now she's saying a random vehicle. Because you were not open about what happened with Jacob Zuma. I mean, you said that a car went to Jacob Zuma's car. So she's saying that it's a random vehicle. Now you have a problem with her saying that it's a random vehicle because you were not being open with what happened. If you were open with what happened with Jacob Zuma, if you were not rude to this woman, maybe you could have had some time to tell South Africans about what happened. Now you're going to have a problem with this woman when she says that this car was a random vehicle. What do you want her to say? What do you want her to say? Honestly. What do you want her to say? How do you come to that conclusion that it was a random vehicle? Because you never said anything. We have been, you've been asked questions, and you have decided to be rude instead of simply telling South Africans what happened to Jacob Zuma. Man, if you could have told South Africans about what happened to Jacob Zuma, this woman would have not said that it was a random vehicle. If you told her what really happened, she wouldn't come out and say that it was a random vehicle. But you came out and decided to be rude instead of actually telling this woman what exactly happened. Now she's saying that it's a random vehicle. You have a problem with her saying that it's a random vehicle.
So and again, this is why we're having the interview, so that you can share with us some of the details that you know. But you said...
Exactly. This is the reason why the interview is being held, so that you can clarify on these issues. This is the reason why the interview is being held, so that you can clarify what happened. But you are choosing not to clarify what happened. You are choosing to be hostile. You decided to go on a national television. Man, if you didn't want to be interviewed, no one forced you to go on national television, because obviously you knew that you were gonna be required to answer the questions. This is the reason why. This is the whole purpose of the interview. This is the purpose of the interview, so that you can clarify to the people what happened.
This is why we're having the interview, so that you can share with us some of the details that you know. But you said, well, you said a car targeted his vehicle directly. Those were your words.
But I never said it was random.
But you just said a car targeted Jacob Zuma's car. Yeah, I never said you just said a car targeted Jacob Zuma's car. You were not specific about that car. You can't tell me now you're going to be mad because this woman says that it's a random vehicle. You cannot be mad about that. You cannot be mad after you said that a car targeted Jacob Zuma's car. You said nothing about that car. You said nothing about that car.
You said a car targeted his vehicle directly. Those were your words.
But I never said it was random.
Well, again, and Tlamula, I'm not sure whether you want to have an honest discussion with us where we are trying to clarify. Hang on, let me finish what I'm saying. I'm trying to clarify these details with you. So if it's not a random vehicle, and that's why I asked you for the details, what were the sequence of events? Please feel free. You have the platform to share with us what happened.
Yes, I have the platform, but don't say random vehicle. And
I mean, like, what do you want her to say? Guys, like, guys, what do you want her to say? What do you want her to say? Because you never said anything about that car. What do you want her to say? Because you just said a car just targeted Jacob Zuma's car. Of course she's going to say, oh, maybe it's a random vehicle. Oh, now that she's saying it's a random vehicle, you are sticking on that point that you never said a random vehicle. Why are you saying a random vehicle? Man, you should have clarified what happened. And again, this is the purpose of the whole interview. For you to tell the people what happened with Jacob Zuma. Man, I would be so ashamed if I was an MK supporter right now. Listening to this person, I would be so ashamed.
Mislead the public. You can't say it was a random vehicle. How do you know it was a random vehicle?
I am asking you, okay, tell me what kind of, that's why I'm asking you what the circumstances were.
Yes. So
don't try to make something out of nothing, and
no, this is important. Remember, we're talking about the state president here.
A former state president. He's not the state president. He's a former president, man. Come on.
You can't say random vehicle. How do you know it's a random vehicle?
Okay, so all right. So pardon my choice of words then. Pardon my choice of words, and Tlamula.
You must be very selective with your choice of words because we're talking about a very sensitive and a serious situation here. You can't say random vehicle.
Okay, are we able to move past this now and share with the viewing public, from your perspective, what happened? What was the nature of the vehicle then that struck the former president's motorcade?
Yes. The president's vehicle, there was a car that actually got into an accident with his car, and for now we can only just say that until we gather exactly what the details are.
I mean, like, if you could have said this when the interview started, I'm sure Imam would have not said that it was a random vehicle. If you could have said all of these things when the interview started, I'm sure this lady was never going to say it was a random vehicle. But you didn't say all of these things. You didn't say all of these things, guys. You didn't say all of these things. You could have just told us that we are still gathering information about this car. You could have just told us that a car targeted Jacob Zuma's vehicle. And right now, the investigators are still gathering information about the certain car. Then this woman would not come out and say that it was a random vehicle. She only said that it was a random vehicle because you came out and said that, oh, a car just targeted Jacob Zuma's car. So what do you want her to say? Now that she's asking you to clarify, you are busy crying and throwing the tantrums instead of simply telling her that this car, we are still gathering information about it.
What transpired?
But what you told me specifically at the beginning of the interview in Tlamula was that a car targeted the former president's car directly.
Yes, the car. Yes.
So it would seem that there was some kind of intent, some kind of motive, that the former president, in fact, was a target.
Yeah, but you refer to it as a random vehicle.
Okay, we're back there. All right, let's move on then to, again, as you say, any news then on the well-being of the former president? This sounds like it was something quite serious. As you say, you're in the process of gathering and piecing together some of those details. Any word as to his condition?
He's good.
Sorry, say again?
President Zuma is good, healthy, and strong.
Has he been taken to hospital?
President Zuma is at home, healthy, and strong.
Is he receiving medical attention, Tlamula?
What medical attention? No.
What medical attention? I'm like, does the spokesperson of MK understand that these are things that the supporters of MK want to know? These are things that the South Africans that are paying for this security of Jacob Zuma want to know. That's why I'm saying, like, guys, why would you go on a national television only for you to be hostile towards the people that are going to conduct the interview? Why would you go on national television and decide to be hostile towards the people that are conducting the interviews? I honestly don't understand. I mean, like, why would you answer someone who's asking you questions like this? And these are the same MK guys who came out and said that the mainstream media is being biased towards MK. Right now, he's been asked questions that people want to know the answers of. Right now, MK is being given a platform on national television. These are the same people who came out and said that the mainstream media will not give MK a platform. The mainstream media is biased against MK, but still, the person is on national television. Behaving like this, he's on a national television.
And strong.
Is he receiving medical attention, Klamula?
What medical attention? No, there's no need for medical attention. He's good, strong, and at home.
All right. So what steps then, given what would be, on what you described with us, a really a serious incident, what steps are yourselves or the party going to take? Again, any details on whether a case will be made at a local police station?
We're not a party of knee-jerk reactions. We'll observe and assess the situation and make a decision after having all the details of what transpired.
But my understanding of the law is that on two fronts. A, it's a former head of state, so there are some obligations in terms of recording this incident, and also just in terms of traffic law and those regulations. When an accident happens, by law you are compelled to notify the authorities.
The law is Cele. Cele said he wants to bury Zuma. And he's responsible for his PPU, Presidential Protection Unit.
All right, and that's fine. And those are issues.
Hold on. Now there's an accident. Cele must account. He can't keep this country safe from crime, let alone the fact that his own PPU, which is supposed to protect President Zuma.
And I don't understand, how do you go from we are still doing an investigation about this car and about what really happened to this is Bheki Cele's fault? How do you go from there to that? Because you said that right now the investigators are still doing their job when it comes to this car that actually went into Jacob Zuma's car. But on the same breath, you're saying that this is Bheki Cele's fault. What if, like, it was a random vehicle? Like the lady said, what if it was a random vehicle? What if it was a drunkard who went into Jacob Zuma's car? What if it was a random drunkard on the street who went to Jacob Zuma's car? Because it could happen. It could happen. So on one side, you are saying that you are still doing the investigations. On the other side, you are saying that it is Bheki Cele's fault. So which is which? Which is which? Because you can't tell me that, oh, on some questions, we are still doing the investigations. Here is Bheki Cele's fault. What are you playing at? What are you playing at? Because right now you are simply confusing the people. You are simply confusing the supporters of MK. You are not being honest with the people of South Africa. Because if you guys are still conducting the investigations, it is fine. It is fine. You can conduct the investigations, and after everything has been done, you can come out and say that we have conducted the investigations, and these are the conclusions that we have reached. But you can't say that we are still conducting the investigations and on the same breath and saying that everything that is happening right now is a fault of Bheki Cele. Like I'm saying, like what if it was a random vehicle? What if it was a random drunkard on the street who went to Jacob Zuma's car? I don't know how do the supporters of MK actually feel represented by this person, man. I honestly don't know. Honestly, I don't know.
He's not protecting President Zuma. What exactly is going on here? And then you've got Mtolo saying that President Zuma will be gone before the 29th of May. What exactly is going on here?
All right, so these are concerns. Definitely, it sounds like the party is, is having at this moment. But still, those are political and other operational issues.
No, they're not political. They're reality. It's a reality. You
Okay.
said that. They said that on your show.
Right, but what I'm trying to get at next is, yes, those are issues that you need to resolve, and those are questions you'll raise.
No,
but
no.
in terms of
we
raising,
can't resolve them. No,
Okay.
Iman, please. We're talking about a serious issue here.
You're
And
not
I'm sorry,
allowing me to finish the question, which is why you're assuming.
Because we're talking about a state president here. We're talking about, this is not a...
It says that we are talking about a state president here. Pretending like Jacob Zuma is the president of South Africa.
It's not, let's take this matter for what it is. This is
Right.
a racist issue here, please. It cannot be that we're going to put a foot around the facts and a sensitivity about our president security.
All right. And Tlhamula, if I may.
We're always labeled as a violent party, but yet these kind of things happen,
All right.
even with our own president.
If I may, can I go to the issue of the separation of the two things? There's a great deal of gravity in what you are saying.
Clearly, the spokesperson of MK wants to play politics. The spokesperson of MK wants to play politics instead of simply being truthful to what happened to Jacob Zuma. He simply wants to play politics. Guys, please tell me what you think about this interview. Please tell me what you think on the comment section. Don't forget to hit that like button, and the most important part is subscribe. My name is Thomas Maba, so I will see you next time. Bye-bye.